Okay, we're going to have a little tutorial on this amazing thing called the apostrophe. Now, the apostrophe is the first time an accent, and the only time an accent mark has entered the English language. Prior to that, we actually used letters to represent where the apostrophe should be. So if I were back before the apostrophe was actually included in the English dictionary, we would have created a sentence such as this. And you can see that the E was actually representing ownership. And this was referring to a dog, not a very good dog, but he's my dog, enjoying a bone. One dog. Now, that's good, but what if there were more than one dog? So in prior to the apostrophe, this is where it started getting a little strange. So we'd have dogs and then we'd put in an E. So it became something such as the dog's bone, meaning that we had two dogs enjoying the bone. There's one dog. And here is my other dog enjoying the bone. So one bone enjoyed by two dogsies. So you had a dog is or a dogsies. Now when spelling started to become more important, and remember that was in 1759, we had this amazing man called Dr. Samuel Johnson who created the English dictionary. And so the English dictionary was his attempt to get spelling working correctly. Before that, you could spell however you wanted to. There wasn't any real focus on spelling. In fact, to be able to write was a pretty nifty thing because mostly those people were confined to courts or the palace or the monasteries. So not many people were able to be literate, meaning they could read, write, and spell well. So Dr. Samuel Johnson in 1759 created the first English dictionary. Now, in so doing that, all of a sudden we have this issue. We have a misspelling because the letter is referring to a spelling rule. So as a result, we then looked to how we could correct this situation, and they came up with an accent mark from the French language. Now, the accent mark is a little mark like that, which became the name of the apostrophe. So that now explains why we have an apostrophe as a punctuation mark. So when punctuation became important, because punctuation is like the score of a music, it tells us ownership, it tells us control, it tells us reference. So the punctuation mark of an apostrophe led us to look at these words and how we spelt them again. So instead of the doggy's bone, we started to replace that E with an apostrophe. Now, that's very good because I can see that this apostrophe is only for one or one. Now, what if I've had the two dogs owning a bone? In that circumstance, we had the dog's bone. Notice now the apostrophe comes after the S, so anything before the S tells me the ownership. Here I have one dog, here I have dogs. Now this leads us to the finger rule. If you're unsure, when you come to an apostrophe such as the cat's dinner, and we want to say, well, is that one cat or lots of cats? What we do is we put our finger over the apostrophe with our right hand and we use our thumb to point to what owns it. If I put my finger over there and I point with my thumb, we can see it is the cats. So this is a really quick way to understand what apostrophes are. Now, if it was the children's dinner, I have something interesting. I already have a plural word. Now I know that the apostrophe must come before the S in this case because there's no such word as children's. Children's is not a real word because it's plural already. So for a plural word, we still need to show ownership that it has a dinner, yum, but we have to show that through this amazing thing called the apostrophe.